Booth's representation is one of the most popular models of reflective practice, and it's very often the model which is discussed and described, explained most in the literature. And we can remind ourselves of the key components of the model in the diagram. There are 3 stages to Booth's representation. We also consider this as Booth's triangle. The 3 components are experience, reflection and learning. We know that through all teaching there is always experience, and this has an interaction with our reflection. Experience and reflection is not a one-way journey. The reflection influences the experience, and the experience influences the reflection. And similarly, we learn from the reflection and the experience. And again, learning and reflection are a two-way dialogue. Learning influences reflection, and reflection influences learning. And so the triangle comes together, and what we're looking at are the emotional facilitators and the emotional barriers within this model. So what Booth says with this model is that the starting point is the reflection on the experience, and this is a reflection, a thinking about the experience, a mental replay in order to recall the components of the experience. And what Booth says from this deeper understanding of the model is that this recall of the experience needs to be conducted in a non-judgmental way, in a way as much as being as objective as possible. Then the next stage, perhaps from this deeper understanding the most significant stage, involves how the reflective practitioner is dealing with the emotional response to the experience, or in other words, attending to their feelings. And what we should consider at this point is that the emotional response can be both negative and positive. And where there are negative emotional responses, where there are negative feelings generated by the experience, these can become barriers to reflection. The positive emotional response, the positive feelings associated with an experience, become facilitators of the reflection process. And so what the reflective practitioner needs to do within this part of this model is to find ways to overcome the negative feelings in a way to negate them so that they do not influence the reflection process, and to use the positive feelings in a way which support the non-judgmental and objective review of the experience. And then after attending to the feelings, the reflective practitioner begins to evaluate the experience. And evaluation from a deeper perspective in the model actually contains a number of sub-stages. The first sub-stage of evaluation is association. This is where the reflective practitioner is taking the new understandings, the new knowledge which they're acquiring from the experience, and making connections with their existing knowledge and understandings. In this way, creating connections between the old and the new. Another sub-stage of evaluation is integration. This is where the reflective practitioner is looking to establish relationships between elements of data, between elements of new data, and between elements of new and old data. And also the reflective practitioner is looking for validation of their understanding, or in other words, finding ways as part of the evaluation process to check that the new data is accurate, is correct, and that there are no inconsistencies involved. And then finally, the reflective practitioner engages with appropriation. as part of the evaluation process, the final sub-stage is where the reflective practitioner takes the new data and begins to own it. They make it their own, and so that they can begin to apply that new data in their teaching.